watching me from the depths below, a haunted grave where shadows grow. Deadpit is watching me with eyes so cold, they're watching me now. In the silence hear a heart.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of Deadpit is Watching. I'm Uncle Bill.
And I'm the creepy Kentuckian, if you will. We're back and ready to violently attack a new set of movies, Uncle Bill. These new releases, 4Ks, Blu-rays, and all of that good stuff. Some horror, some not. You know, some nostalgic, some not. We like to mix it up a little bit here.
Yeah, there's a nice ambiance, a nice mixture, a nice juxtaposition, if you will, of action and horror and sci-fi.
It's a buffet of cinema on this episode of Deadpit is Watching. And a lot of stuff from Kino Lorber, who is constantly, man, I don't know how they do it. I think their August release list is like over 20 titles, right? Which we're not going to be getting all of those, but there is a few. And they're hitting it out of the park. So we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of their stuff, and I believe some titles from Arrow Video on the show.
Yeah, it's weird though, man, because like we talk about Vinegar Syndrome and companies like that, but they don't release nearly as much stuff as Kino does, like monthly.
It's hard to keep track, man, because Kino, like I said, this year and really last couple of years, they have just month after month after month, and very rarely do you ever hear of any issues with the King, like as far as, you know, having a recall or
Right.
check disc fix or something like that on Kino titles. So I don't know how they do it, but yeah. So what do we got first, Uncle Bill? You wanna hit us up first?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can. We can talk about this is a film that I've seen in multiple different versions for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why I've owned like so many different versions of this movie, because to be honest, I don't particularly even like the film, but this is the 4K version, which I've never owned up until now, of the 1979 classic Silent Scream.
Silent Scream. Yeah, this
That
is
was.
and if I'm not mistaken, this is a co-release with Kino and Dark Force Entertainment.
The logo is on the back. You can see it right there at the bottom.
That's an odd one, man. I don't know how that relationship got started, but interesting, because Kino used to work with Code Red and Scorpion, and our buddy Demon Dave is kind of like, you know, almost like a sub label, like he was when those guys were alive. So this is the first co-release, Silent Scream.
It's insane too, though, man, that like a movie like this has got as many different releases as it does, but here we are, like talking about it.
Yeah, I think I've got. I don't know if Dark Force did their own Blu-ray of it, but this is the first 4K of it, and we're going to be, you know, we taking a look at a lot of slashers over the summer, and this is one of those movies that's kind of advertised as a slasher, but is it really a slasher movie? Tell me what you think.
That's an interesting question. Kinda, but not really. So anyway, this is the story. Silent Scream is the story of a young Scotty, and that is a female. Rebecca Balding plays Scotty in this, who is trying to find like a last minute dorm room. She can't find anything on campus, so she's like around this college, and so she goes to this old boarding house run by this old biddy who is, I'm pretty sure, unless I've lost my mind, Yvonne DiCarlo, Miss Ingalls. Yvonne DiCarlo plays Miss Ingalls in this film, who runs this and lives in this house, and so they go to this place. She finds a room there, and shortly after that, like things turn out to be like kind of like they get a little bit spooky, if you know what I mean. They begin to notice
It's
that
spooky.
Scotty starts to notice that something is like not right at the house. One by one, a bunch of other college students that
They get picked off
they get picked off one by one, yeah,
by someone evil
by someone lurking
in the shadows.
of the night.
Oh,
There's also like a subplot with a couple of different like cops in it, and the cops are like they always think that there's some sort of suspicion about Mrs. Ingalls and her son and things like that, and the people that have been around this boarding house, and something is going on in there, and they know it, but they can't prove it at the time. Barbara Steele is also in this movie, and she probably has like the most memorable role of anybody in this movie. This is a really slow movie. Whenever I see this fucking movie, man, the
showcase
immediate
the artwork there, yeah, but forgot. Yeah.
So the immediate thing that I think of whenever I see this movie,
That is some cool artwork, though.
that
I'll
is
give them credit.
awesome artwork. It's much better artwork than it's really deceiving because it makes it look like just like an action-packed slasher film, and it's not. But whenever I see this title, I just immediately think of it's very slow. It's the pacing. There's a lot of people that like movies like this, though. It's a slow burn kind of thing, so to speak. It's very like, what would you say? It's trying to build a lot of suspense before it gets to anything that actually happens with any of the killings or anything like that.
That's the sign of a pretty much bad slasher movie, though, right?
Yeah, it
That,
is.
like, it's a good 45 minutes to an hour before anything really memorable happens. They're just standing around kicking dirt for 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
A lot of times what will happen too is like if a movie is incredibly boring, like the people that like it will be like, it's a slow burn, it's stylish, it's subversive, all these like catchphrases that really just mean like it's slow as fuck and like you'll be bored to tears before anything happens.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's a whole fan base for this movie. It's just not me. Like I've never really like genuinely loved this movie. I've always found it to be an odd curiosity of this time period, and like one of those films. It's not really a slasher. It's more of like a those movies like Crawl Space and things like that, like
Right.
where there's something hidden in the house and like shit like that is going on in the walls. It's more like that than it is like a slasher film.
But it was definitely advertised as a slasher film when it came out, or at least to try to confuse people.
There is some slashing, but it's not a slasher film. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like it's too goddamn slow to be a slasher film, and too much like a TV movie or something. But anyway, if you're a fan of this movie, this is the definitive version to get the new Silent
It's in
Scream
4K.
Yes. So you've got, and I shit you not when I read this, a brand new HDR10 master from a 4K scan of 35mm original camera negative.
Wow.
Okay? You've got Scream of Success 30 years later, a featurette about the movie. You got the original script, a featurette. The Wheat Brothers, a look back, a featurette. I believe the Wheat Brothers were the producers. Yeah. So you got audio commentary by the writer. Oh, they were the writers and the producers. You got audio commentary by the writers, Jim and Kim.
Jim and Kim.
Jim and Ken Wheat. Heirs to the millionaire wheat throne.
Where's Buck at?
Are you kidding me? Jim and Ken Wheat. Okay. So you've got
They have a
audio
brother named
commentary
Buck.
with Jim and Ken Wheat, writers and producers. You got an audio commentary with actress Rebecca Balding. You got another audio commentary with Barbara Steele, moderated by film historian David Delval. Interview with actress Rebecca Balding. Audio interviews with director Denny Harris. Theatrical trailer, TV spots, and radio spots. This is an American cinema releasing masterpiece directed by Denny Harris. Look up some like basic kind of stuff about the movie real quick. It was released in 1979. The box office was $7.9 million. I don't know what the budget was. It was
So in '79, I mean, the slasher genre was not
no,
like on fire or anything then, for sure.
no. This was like, I guess this would fall in that proto slasher kind of thing before, Friday the 13th really like created that, but after Halloween, I guess. So somewhere in that mix. So it's probably made before Halloween, but released after. I don't know. It was released by Scorpion, releasing on DVD in 2009 and Blu-ray in 2017. So now it's on 4K from Kino.
It's on 4K, and you can add it to your collection today from Kino Lorber, who, last time I looked, they're extending that sale. So most of their 4Ks under the sale are like $18 or something like that. So I don't know if that was one that just recently came out. I don't know if they're including that one in the sale. But, man, like, no nonsense releases. Most of the time, they're using the original artwork.
The original artwork for this is fucking bullshit. Hold on one second. Look at this. Like, I'm glad they had the different artwork. This is the other artwork.
Yeah, that makes it look more like an old, like, 50s or 60s horror movie.
That looks like shit.
Yeah. But that is Silent Scream. Another one, though, from Kino Lorber. This one was 10 years later, 1989, from the director of Friday the 13th, Sean S. Cunningham, Deepstar Six. And this is another re-release that Kino, they did a Blu-ray of this probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I think our good friends over at Scream Factory also did kind of a basic bitch edition, probably 10 years ago or 15 years ago at this point. I don't know. One of the very early ones. But Deepstar Six, kind of a, everybody remembers that scene, if anything else, in the movie, that they used for the poster art and for the cover and everything. And typically for me, like, I am not a big fan of these sea monster submarine movies from this time period. Now, I know some people are. I get them all very confused, right? Because I wrote this down because they all came out in the same damn year. Leviathan, Lords of the Deep, The Abyss, and Deepstar Six. What was the fascination with these submarine monster, sea monster movies?
Well, it had to be The Abyss came first, right?
I'm not sure. I didn't look I should have
Well,
looked the dates up.
maybe it didn't, but I think it had to, because The Abyss was probably the only one of those that was actually like remotely popular.
I think
And
this
even
one made its money back, but it didn't really like set the box office on fire or anything. It's weird that, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sean Cunningham replaced the original director of this, because this does seem like an odd choice odd movie for him to make. But yeah, I mean, this one is pretty self-explanatory. It's action-packed underwater sci-fi thriller from the director of Friday the 13th. The Deepstar Six is a submarine that is full of a crew who are looking to install missile sleds at the deepest ocean floor for the U.S. Navy. The crew discovers a cavern that goes even deeper into the sea.
It's deep,
Uncle Bill. And of course, they go exploring where no human has ever been before.
Oh my God.
And young Scarpelli, played by Nia Peoples, warns them of the dangers of the unknown sea creatures below. And of course, they don't listen. And, it all goes to shit from there. It's an interesting cast.
It's the best ending, and then it all just goes to shit.
It goes to shit from there. And the cast in this is very fucking like, I was like, I hadn't seen this movie in so long. And the 4K does look great. I mean, this looks fantastic. And it's shot 235-1, the extra widescreen, beautifully made and everything. And a lot of it was shot underwater. It's in a fucking submarine. I I mean, I guess they didn't film in the submarine, but there was a lot of like exterior shots from the ocean and everything else. But the cast in this, when I saw this, I was like, is that fucking guy from My Two Dads? The other guy.
That's right.
Not Paul Reiser.
The guy that ain't done shit, like since then, yeah.
Yeah, and sure enough, it wasn't. I think My Two Dads was still on TV when this movie was made.
This is a big breakout role.
The actor's name is Greg Evigan, and also has Matt McCoy, who people always credit him as The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. He was in that. He was in Abominable or whatever else. The same year as this, one of my favorite hated Police Academy movies, City Under Siege, came out the exact same year. And in my opinion, it's a much more entertaining movie than Deepstar Six. So also in this, Miguel Ferrer, who's always playing usually playing an asshole character, or somebody, a rule breaker or whatever else. He does fine in this. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of these type of movies, really. I know The Abyss is like the fucking Shawshank Redemption of underwater sea monster movies, and I don't even really like that one that much. I know Rambo's got a big hard-on for Leviathan, and I've maybe seen that movie once. I mean, I don't remember hating it. I'm sure it's probably slightly better than Deepstar Six.
So I always get all these movies mixed up, to be honest with you. So Leviathan is the one, hopefully I'm right about this. Leviathan is the one that's got Peter Weller, right?
I do believe Peter Weller's in it. And I know that much from watching Rambo's videos, because he's also got a hard-on for Peter Weller quite a bit. So
Deepstar Six, does it have like a known person in it, or is it just like
Matt McCoy, Greg Evigan, Nia Peebles?
Fuck yeah.
Who else is in this? Cindy Pickett, Marius Wires. Nancy Everhart is in this. I have heard of her.
Marius Wires. What a fucking name.
Yeah. But, dude, hey, say what you want to. If you are a fan of this movie and you want the Mac Daddy Mac version of Deepstar Six, this is for sure it. This is loaded with special features. There is 3 separate audio commentaries on this. You've got audio commentary by HorrorFix.com's James G. Chandler and Ash Hamilton. I guess they're historians.
Yeah, they're film historians.
Separate audio commentary by director Sean S. Cunningham and visual effects supervisor James Isaac. Another audio commentary by the screenwriters Louis Abernathy and Jeff Miller. Isolated score selections and audio interview with the composer. And I mentioned this too. Harry Manfredini does the music in this. So this movie is basically Friday the 13th in the ocean. Like it's the music is very Friday the 13th. From the Deep, it's an interview with creature effects makeup designer Mark Shostrom and a very ugly man. Creature supervisor Greg Nicotero and creature artist Robert Kurtzman. The Survivors interview with Greg Evigan and Nancy Everhard. Wow, they got the very rare interview with Greg Evigan from fucking Cracker Barrel, wherever the hell he's working at now.
They got him sit down at Cracker Barrel and do the interview.
That'd be so killer. Water Damage, an interview with stunt coordinator Kane Hodder. So there's a lot of Friday the 13th related people in this. And vintage interviews, clips, and much, much more. And I'll showcase the artwork here, which I do like quite a bit. And there's the scene where they rip the fucking torso off the dude. And that's pretty cool. The creature in this, what you do see is kind of cool. But doesn't look nearly as good as that artwork there, for sure. But yeah, you don't see the creature very much in this. This is a slowly paced movie. And like I said, it was cool to watch again, but much like you, all those movies that came out in that time period, the late 80s, early 90s, creature, underwater movies. I get them all mixed up because they're all very similar. They all have the blue cover, the poster, and they're all essentially the same movie,
Yep.
really. It's a fucking monster in the water.
We found a monster in here.
But this is a fantastic dish, and I did want to mention, the transfer on this is great. This is a co-release with Studio Canal. I wanted to put them over, and because hey, let me tell you this, man. I think all of the releases that are done with Studio Canal, the transfers are phenomenal because I think they do their own transfers in house. So the Studio Canal releases are.
Did you stop saying Studio Canal?
I can't. It's what I do. But yeah, Deepstar Six, boss. It is out now on 4K Blu-ray combo pack.
Yeah. So are you ready for a movie that I actually really did enjoy?
Sure.
And I've never seen it. And this
Never seen it before, huh?
This sub-label is probably one of my favorite sub-labels out there today. This is Sugar Hill from the Kino Cult.
Kino Cult number 32. Do you have all 32 of them, Uncle
I
Bill?
don't think so. I wish I did. I don't think I might have 10 of these at most. But Sugar Hill, for all intents and purposes, you could probably tell by the cover, is a blaxploitation film. 1974, this movie came out. But Kino has got it in a new special edition, and this is outstanding. So, are you ready for this plot?
Throw it at me, boss.
There ain't much to this plot, so I knew I could remember, from just watching it one time. Mobsters come in, and this guy's running this club with his girlfriend, and mobsters come in and they shake the place down, and they eventually end up killing him.
Violently.
His girlfriend gets so pissed off about it, she decides to take revenge. Her name is Sugar, by the way.
Sugar Booger.
So how do you take revenge when mobsters kill your boyfriend and you own a club in Haiti? The club's in Haiti, by the way. Only thing you can do in Haiti to get revenge is you hire voodoo priestess to summon up dead people, zombies, to take revenge.
I didn't see that coming.
And that's exactly what fucking happens.
What year was this?
1974.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a movie, man. That actually sounds really, really great.
It really is, for a couple different reasons. There's the guy that plays the main, let me see if I can find his name. The main voodoo Lord of the Underworld guy that they summon, and he is fucking hilarious looking. And all he does is stand in corners, and they cut to him, and he's looking like John. He's and his teeth are all jacked up. But whenever anything happens, he's just over in the corner, hey, bugger. And he's smiling.
Anywhere.
He's just smiling and kind of looking creepy, and that's his whole gimmick throughout the whole movie. The fucking zombies are hilarious because they're basically just these dudes with body paint on and maybe some hair, some silver hairspray and shit. Yeah. And that's the army of the undead that they bring to life.
Now, is that Pam Grier on the cover?
No, that's not Pam Grier. I thought that too when I first saw this cover.
It's a Pam Grier.
It's a Pam Grier clone called her actual name is Marky Bay. Okay. And she's really only known for this movie. But she was pretty good, man. And her afro's insane, by the way. It's huge. It's really if you've ever seen, what's that movie? I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, where the person has an afro and they're hiding all the shit in it and they just start pulling it out.
Right.
That's kind of what the afro is like in this movie. It's unbelievable. You have to see it to believe it. The special effects are goofy as hell. The dialogue is insanely goofy. she's great. It's like a B movie, black exploitation film with zombie elements that you really need to see. Like if you like Blackula and all that stuff, like you're bound to love this movie. Like this movie's just as good as not better of any of those movies.
Yeah, I do like those movies. I don't own a lot of those movies. I know that there's a lot of them coming out. I think there's a big box set coming out by one of these companies in 4K. But this is the Blu-ray release, right? I mean, I get these mixed up because they go back and forth. Yeah,
it's not a 4K. It's just a regular old Blu-ray. Look at him. But I mean,
a Blu-ray death, baby. It's got the. I always love the fact that Kino uses the original artwork most of the time.
Yeah.
Like unless it's absolutely necessary to replace the artwork, it's so bad. But yeah, most of the time it's the original OG artwork there.
So I'll just go ahead and tell you, like this movie's kind of iconic. Did not do well at the box office. I do not know why though, considering it's just like every other one of those movies, really.
Maybe there was too many of them that came out all at once or something. I don't know. Some of them slipped through the cracks.
Maybe you're right. Like it had a budget of $350,000, but it only ever made around $35,000 at the box office.
Oh wow!
So it lost a lot of money. So I'm not sure this was ever released until now, man. Like I'm looking on the page that talks about releases, but I'm not seeing like where it was ever released on anything home media. Yeah, it just says it was released theatrically in 1974 and cut for TV. So I don't know. I'm not saying this is the first release. I'm just saying I can't find it if there's another one.
May have been released overseas or something like that. Like Kino is one of the very few that they tend to release a lot more of those titles that have never seen any sort of special edition treatment, or a lot of times even any disc release at all. And I always appreciate that for sure. But yeah, Sugar Hill from 1974. What kind of extras we got on that one?
Yeah, I was just still trying to see if I could find anything about a Blu-ray release, but I cannot. Okay, so this comes with the audio commentary by film historians Howard S. Berger, Steve Mitchell, and Nathaniel Thompson. Audio commentary by the director, interviews with actors Don Pedro Colley, Richard Lawson, Charles Robinson, and the director. So you got all those interviews on here as well as the trailer. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the remastering or anything on here, but
it's probably
it looks
a 35 millimeter print or something, maybe.
Looks great. 1974 Orion Pictures, Sugar Hill. So I 100% recommend this movie. And if you're a fan of like any of this that I've talked about, or like blaxploitation films in general, you'll love this movie.
For sure. Kino Cult's a killer sub-label too.
I love that
Always
label.
Enjoy the hell out of all those releases and seeing what they've got planned up next, which Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS was finally officially announced. So that's going to be one of them in 4K. And they're already pissing some of these hoity-toity assholes off by releasing. Like, so I'm seeing some of the comments. They're like, no, we don't want to hear about this shit. This is for entertainment purposes, right?
Oh God, you mean like people getting upset about the movie itself?
Yeah.
Shit on that. Bunch of nonsense.
So this next one, and I was looking this up, man, and this is very interesting because I know both you and I have always loved this movie. And one of the cool aspects to the Patreon page is you can search to see if we have ever reviewed said movie. And this one is a Larry Cohen movie that recently received deluxe 4K treatment from Arrow Video. And a lot of you guys remember Larry Cohen from the It's Alive movies, God Told Me To, Cue the Winged Serpent. Return to Salem's Lot, maybe not a lot of people remember. He did Masters of Horror as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is like a lot of people's favorite Larry Cohen movie just because it's so 80s and it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's a lot of fun. It's everywhere, right? We're talking about The Stuff from 1985 with this 2-disc edition 4K Blu-ray combo pack. And man, this movie is so much fun and is so 80s. And is really, I think it's a movie that could be remade almost. Maybe I mean, they went a little bit different areas with it, but I mean, kind of the same concept almost as The Substance, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought
Yeah.
about that?
No, but I
Yeah.
mean that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could totally redo this movie and change it up a little bit, and I think I think a new audience would get behind this movie, but it's a lot of fun. The movie, it opens up with a couple of, stereotypical rednecks. There is some accent discrimination in this, unfortunately, which, I mean, it was 1985, so what do you expect?
Right.
But a couple of these rednecks find some bubbling stuff coming up from the ground. I think it's somewhere in Georgia. And one of them, of course, they've got to take if I saw something white and bubbling up out of the earth, I'm like, boys, I wonder what the hell that tastes like. Let's get a mouthful of it, Uncle Bill. And he's like, oh, that tastes good, man. That's nice and sweet. That's a sweet treat.
Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so he grabs it and then lets his buddy try it, and he tries it. Oh, it's good shit. So you kind of fast forward there, and it's become mass marketed as this healthy, like almost like, I guess it was before Froyo. Maybe it was right around the time Froyo was becoming a thing. I don't know. The Stuff. And I think that this was right around the time period too. This is 1985 when things were starting to get mass marketed out the ass, like products and everything. So they show a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah.
And we see a young kid who gets really, really bawled out from his dad for getting a midnight snack. I'm like, God damn, man, lighten the fuck up. I've never seen anybody that was that big of an asshole. What the fuck you doing down here? Get up there.
Get your ass out of here.
But the kid named Jason, who, there's a couple of main characters in this. I mean, he's kind of a main character. He witnesses the stuff in the refrigerator kind of moving on its own. And he's freaked out by it, right? And, slowly but surely, like, everybody in the movie is kind of consumed, literally, by the stuff. And Michael Moriarty's character is investigating it. His name was Mo, I believe, right?
I just always remember his performance in this film because it's so fucking crazy and like so like off from what everybody else is doing. And some of the lines he has throughout the film are just so wild. And he does the same thing in every film he's been in, really, but like also that Masters of Horror episode. I think it's like On and Off a Mountain Road or something like that.
Wasn't he also in Chud?
Was he?
Or am I thinking of somebody else?
He probably was in Chud.
Somebody needs to do a 4K of Chud.
I don't
Maybe that's
even remember
coming.
Chud, man. That's how weird that movie is to me.
I think Arrow did Chud as well, if I'm not mistaken. The Blu-ray.
I remember Chud 2 more than I remember Chud.
Yeah.
Hold on,
But-
let me look up Chud real quick. So is he in Chud?
I might be thinking of somebody
No.
else.
John Hurd, Daniel Stern, Christopher Curry are in Chud.
It might have been John Hurt I was thinking of instead or something. But anyway, Moriarty is in this, who's kind of hired to investigate and go inside the company. And because there's something wrong with this stuff. People are getting addicted to it and are kind of becoming like mindless zombies and supporters of the stuff. And there's scenes later on in the movie where the stuff is, I mean, it's almost like the Blob or something. It's the same sort of thing. Like this stuff attacks people or whatever else. There's some fucking hilarious cameos in this too, man. There was one that I completely forgot about and marked out for, but we'll go through them here. Garrett Morris, who's in Saturday Night Live, is in this as Chocolate Chip Charlie, which was pretty much a play off of like Famous Amos, I think, right? Because that was, what was the guy? Amos something. He was a real guy, right? And he was an African American fellow. So Garrett Morris is in this as Chocolate Chip Charlie, who was kind of kicked out of the company whenever the stuff become prevalent, and he kind of wants to know what's going on and why everyone is so addicted to this creamy white delight, if you will. And the mystery, beside, they want to find out what is going on with this mysterious yummy goo. Uncle Boo, I know that you want to know.
I want to know about that yummy goo.
Abe Vigoda is in this, and I fucking love Abe Vigoda. Just looking at fucking Abe Vigoda makes me laugh. Like, I don't know why.
There's something about him that is like hilarious. I remember he was in that stupid fucking Good Burger movie, and like you just look at him, it's like so out of place.
His eyebrows had like a mind of their own, really.
Yeah.
Like Danny Aiello is in this too, he was a pretty big star around this time already, I think, right? Like he had to have been.
I never really like understood the trajectory of Danny Aiello's career.
But the Wendy's Where's the Beef lady made an appearance in this.
Dang,
I marked the fuck out. Yes.
Really?
She is like the wife of Abe Vigoda in the commercial, and she says, "Where's the stuff?"
Killer.
That's so
People
great.
don't realize how big that kind of stuff was back in the day. I mean, TV's not even really like around now, but like how big those catchphrases and commercials and stuff got back then.
Mm-hmm. Paul Sorvino is also in this too, who, he's kind of a racist sergeant or whatever at the end of the movie, trying to figure out how to, take care of the stuff once and for all. But there's some pretty good effects in this. Chocolate Chip Charlie's death scene with the stuff is really, really like cheesy looking and fun. I don't know if you remember that, but
yeah, that's probably
one
like the most memorable scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, and the effects are really good in this. And this has always been just a fun 80. The music in it's great. But let me tell you, man, this 4K edition, the transfer on this, and I haven't looked at reviews or anything, but I thought the transfer on this was fantastic. I was shocked at how great this looked in 4K. And I don't really know the details behind it, but this thing, I was amazed because this seems like a movie that, I only had the DVD up to this point, so it would have been a huge improvement regardless. But it is a 2-disc edition. Brand new 4K restoration from Arrow Films from the original negatives. There is a brand new audio commentary with the critics David Flint and Adrian Smith. Archival audio commentary with the late great writer and director Larry Cohen. 42nd Street Memories, the rise and fall of America's most notorious street. A feature-length documentary exploring the history of New York City's infamous 42nd Street with first-hand accounts from an array of filmmakers, including Larry Cohen. Can't get enough of the stuff of making of Larry Cohen's classic creature feature. Documentary featuring Cohen producer Paul Kurta, actress Andrea Marcovici, mechanical makeup effects artist Steve Neal, and critic Kim Newman. Enough is Never Enough, newly edited featurette featuring previously unseen interviews with Larry Cohen and everybody else associated with the movie pretty much. Trailers, TV spots, King Cohen trailer, Disc 2, a pre-release version on Blu-ray, a limited edition exclusive. It's an early pre-release cut of film featuring over 30 minutes of additional footage, different music score, and exclusively remastered by Arrow Films. So it's loaded, baby. It is packed full.
Packed to the gills.
If you don't have any of the Blu-ray editions or anything, I would say this is a must purchase, man. I mean, it's loaded with features. Transfer's great on it. You got feature-length documentaries, 2 different cuts of the movie. So this gets a high recommendation from me. It just recently came out. The stuff. Are you eating it, or is it eating you?
Or are you eating ice?
That's what you're doing. You're eating fucking ice.
No, I love the stuff. That's a great movie. This next one, I didn't really realize like how much I liked this movie until I went back and watched it. And then I ended up watching it like 4 or 5 times, just kind of like left it on the background. And that is 1986's Cobra. I don't have the fucking thing for this. I just got like a check disc. You want me to hold the check disc up?
No, I'll put like something in the background there because I'm professional.
Okay. So this is Stallone's like mid-80s cop movie. And I did not realize this until like I was researching it, but this movie made a metric ton of money when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
A budget of $25 million, Cobra actually made $160 million.
Damn.
I didn't remember, like, I mean, I knew it was big and like it was everywhere. Like you could in every like theater and things like that. I didn't know it made that much damn money. So it's a story of, and this is kind of goofy, I'm gonna be honest with you. A guy by the name of Marion Cobretti, so they call him Cobra, played by
Hey, I'm a Cobretti over here.
Yeah. So it opens up with one of the most memorable scenes from a cop film, and I'd forgotten that this was the movie that it was in. Where like, and they redid it in Stone Cold, they've redone it in like all kinds, or copied it in all kinds of different like action films. And it's that scene where like a guy goes into a grocery store and basically like takes the people like hostage and things like that. Then they have to send in Sylvester Stallone, Cobra, and he's got to like rescue all the hostages and ends up shooting the guy. But anyway, when he kills the guy, he's doing all kinds of puns and one-liners and shit like that. And that kind of became like, you know, the thing to do in the 80s. And he finds out this guy's part of this like New World Order, not like the Kevin Nash branch or anything. He's part of like the good branch of the New World Order, where they're led by this guy named the Night Slasher. Which is like a horrible.
That sounds like a fucking like WCW wrestler from like 1992.
The Night Slasher is one of the worst like ripoffs of the
From
Night
parts
Stalker.
unknown, the Night Slasher.
But the New World believes like they despise like modern society, and they just keep talking about killing the weak and only the strong survive. Yeah, all that shit, right? So Cobra believes this is all part of this like great conspiracy where, you know, people in the government and the police force are all a part of this like society, and so he is on a mission to take them all down. And the guy that plays the Night Slasher is played really brilliantly by Brian Thompson, not the guy we went to school with.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
But
we did go to school with a Brian Thompson, but he wouldn't have been old enough to be the Night Slasher in this movie.
No,
this was 1987.
And he's got like this giant knife that has spikes on the knuckles, which is probably the first time I've ever seen anything like that as a kid. But like that became like a thing for a while, those kind of style of knives or whatever, for, you know, because of this movie. It's just the most stereotypical cop action film. He's got like a partner, like a buddy it's like the Dirty Harry kind of style where they partner him up with somebody that don't really like belong with. And Brigitte Nielsen is the love interest in this. He's married to Brigitte Nielsen.
She's hotter
around
than
this
hell
time.
in this movie
She
too,
is,
right?
man.
Yeah.
Like this was the time period. This and like Rocky and all that stuff where she's like Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Red Sonja.
That's just like, yeah, crazy level of hotness at that time. And of course she's being stalked because she saw one of them kill somebody. And so like they're trying to like hunt her down and kill her. So really the film in the middle shifts to like
Wasn't Stallone married to her then?
Yeah, they're married around this point too.
Yeah.
Apparently he's crazy, like in terms of like, according to her, in terms of like relationships and things like that. Like she said all kinds of stuff about him. Like he would like have sculptures of her made and paintings and all this stuff. And he was just stupid.
Infatuated with her.
He really was. Yeah. So anyway,
I don't blame him. I mean, this is a pretty good looking woman.
This, like I said, I watched this movie like way too many times. This movie is still, in my opinion, underrated. Like it's a really, like Stallone's really good in it as the title role. It's a really good action film. It's got like great action set pieces.
It's kind of got some horror elements to it too, right?
It does, because it's like a cult. Like he's basically fighting a cult is what he's doing. So yeah, it's got like some really cool scenes, especially the final fight with the Night Slasher, which takes place in like a giant warehouse.
Coal miner's glove match. Night Slasher and Cobra. Cobra versus Night Slasher.
Yeah.
In a coal miner's glove match. Spin the wheel, make the deal. And it led to the coal miner's glove. Something else though I wanted to ask you, because I like all these movies, like all of the Stallone and Schwarzenegger movies. I'm not an expert on them or anything, but didn't you always think that the cover of Cobra was a blatant ripoff of the first Terminator poster?
Yeah, it definitely is. Like the whole thing is, that poster is definitely a ripoff. Yeah.
Because I never hear anybody really mention that, but if you look at it, you're like, okay, that's pretty much the exact same pose. They got the gun, the sunglasses, and everything.
Yeah.
And it looks like the same artist they hired. I don't know if it was, but it's an excellent cover though. I love that. Like that movie is, and that poster art is 1980s. It's like listening to fucking "You Give Love a Bad Name" by Bon Jovi or something like that. It just takes you back there.
Yep.
To that time period. But this one is getting excellent reviews on audio and video quality. What do you think?
100%. Like it looks amazing, like in 4K. It doesn't look too like processed or anything like that. So it kind of like still has that gritty look to it, but the contrast and the colors and everything, especially if you got like that style of HDR, like TV and stuff, is amazing. I thought that like it's the best it'll ever look. And I also thought like this is the movie that needs something like that because it benefits so much from like the 4K vibe. It's such a 80s colorful kind of film, and it just does really well on 4K, I thought.
And it is loaded up with special features, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I'm going to read off the special features to ye.
You left.
So you got a. No, I've got it right here. You got a
okay.
brand new 4K restoration of the film from the original 35mm negative, which makes sense because it looks the way it does. Ultra HD Blu-rays presentation in HDR10 compatible and 4K. Did a bunch of like 2.0, 4.0, and DTS audio options. New commentary by film critics Kim Newman and Nick DeSimone.
And Kim Newman is all over all these releases.
Brand
He's
new
a
commentary
busy man.
by more film scholars Josh Nelson and Martin Pedler.
He's he's the owner operator of Peddler's Mall.
There's an archival audio commentary by the director George P. Cosmatos, I guess.
Cosmatos.
TV version of the film featuring deleted and alternate scenes presented for the first time on home video, standard definition only. Slashing the Night Away, a new interview with the composer. Dark Glasses, Violence and Robots, a new visual essay. White Line Nightmare, a new visual essay. Stalking and Slashing, an archival interview with actor Brian Thompson. Meet the Disease, an archival interview with actor Marco Rodriguez. Feel the Heat, an archival interview with Andrew Robinson. I forgot he's like one of the bosses, the police sergeants or whatever in the film, Andrew Robinson from Hellraiser. Double Crossed, an archival interview with actor Lee Garlington, a work of art, an interview with actor Art LaFleur. The Making of Cobra, a 1986 featurette, and pretty much reversible sleeves and everything else that you could like possibly want in any kind of like
insanity
release.
And I do like the fact that they use the original artwork because you can't top that, man. You can't.
Nope.
You just can't do it. Don't even try it.
No.
With your photo manipulated bullshit that people are doing now. Don't try it.
This to me is like one of the best releases though that I've seen in a while. I don't know why. It's a combination of not seeing it in a long time and then coming back on it and realizing that it's kind of, it never got the popularity of like Terminator or Rambo or Dirty Harry and that stuff, but it's like right there. It's like right on the cusp. It's like a B movie version of that almost, like, you know, just not quite to that level, but still a killer like action cop film from that time period. They got shit on when it came out. I don't know why.
People didn't know how good they had it in 1986.
Nope. But that is Cobra.
Very cool. That one just came out this week as well. And last one I've got from Kino Lorber, part of their Studio Classics line. It's a new 4K Blu-ray combo pack. This is a movie that I have not seen in many, many years. That burned up HBO back in the day, man. This thing was all over Cinemax and HBO and all those pay movie channels back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I didn't have a copy of this at all. And the funny thing is, this movie, which this is Hiding Out from 1987, starring John Cryer, directed by Bob Giraldi. This had never seen a Blu-ray release. So this one went kind of straight to Blu-ray and 4K from Kino, at least here in the U.S., I don't think. And this is the original poster art too. So I wasn't super familiar with it because I don't know how well this movie did in theaters. I just know that it was all over HBO. And I was curious how well this movie holds up. And there's a lot of things in this movie that do not hold up, are not socially acceptable, which may be why we haven't seen, I think Anchor Bay did the DVD of this, of Hiding Out, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a long, probably 20 plus years since this thing has been out. And the whole plot of this one is John Cryer's character. He is a stockbroker, Andrew Marinsky, who has, John Cryer in this movie has, and this is 4K, so of course you're going to see all the details, the fakest looking beard in a mainstream movie that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We're expected to believe that that's his beard. And I'm like, oh God. I mean, some of these movies in 4K, stuff like that, it probably doesn't benefit it much. But anyway, he's wanted dead from the mafia. He is pissed off a mob boss, and they kill one of his friends. I think the deal was that he was going to go on the stand and testify against this guy or whatever, and the FBI's wanting to put him in like a witness protection thing. And he's like, no, I want my life, man. What you talking about, Willis? Right? And they get attacked again as he goes out the door, and he kind of comes up with the idea of running away himself and getting away and changing his identity himself and moving in with his cousin and assuming the role of like a high schooler and going back to high school. There were a lot of movies like this around this time period, Uncle Bill, and this was just one of them. He shaves the fakest beard in the world off, and he has, I don't ever remember, like I was young around this time period, but I don't ever remember this hairstyle being popular where he bleached the sides of his head. Do you remember this look that he had in this movie?
No. But I think it was like a punk look, wasn't it, at that time?
I think so. But in the beginning, like, I don't know. Parts of this movie have not aged very well, and we're going to get into it. But soon after, he's Maxwell Hauser, and he gets the name from a fucking Maxwell House cup. That's the name he assumes. They never say his age, what his real age is in this movie. John Cryer was 22 years old when this movie was made, so we can kind of go by that. Like, he was a successful stockbroker at the age of 22, going back and playing a high school senior. That's not totally unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he kind of looks young enough. But we do know that he's an adult. Okay? Within the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes of him going back to high school in this movie, he meets up with, I guess, like just one of the high school hotties named Ryan, played by Annabeth Gish. Here's the kicker. They have like a romance going on in this movie. They don't go all the way. Right? She's kind of curious, like why he hasn't laid the bird to her or anything. They kind of, and I'm like, And I see Annabeth Gish in this, who's been in a bunch of stuff over the years, right? And I'm like, damn, she looks fucking young. I wonder how old she was in this movie.
I noticed that too. She has to be she looks like she's about 15 or 16 years old in this, man. Like,
She was 16 years old when this movie was made.
it makes sense.
So, anyway, he confides in her, though. He finally tells her why. Like, he's hiding from the mob, and he's living with his cousin, played by Keith Coogan, who has the most 80s bedroom of all time in this, which is great. And she doesn't find it creepy at all that this grown-up is, like, trying to get in her... Well, I don't know if he's... They're dating. She's in high school, you know. And she doesn't find that odd at all when he tells her, hey, I'm a grown man, or whatever. Like, did the word pedophile not exist back then?
I don't think people really pay attention to that kind of thing in the 80s. Like, in terms of, like, those kind of ideas.
So, of course, like, eventually the mafia kind of gets an idea on where he's at, and it kind of all goes, you know. I mean, you could predict how it's going to go. Like, he eventually testifies and has to, you know, assume a new identity and everything, and it has a kind of a happy, weird ending involving the, you know, Annabeth Gish and the pedophile, played by John Cryer. And this is a prime example, and I did enjoy going back and watching this because it's been a long time. I'll showcase it again here. Hiding Out. But yeah, this is a good example of a movie that, like, if nostalgia wasn't there, like, I don't think a lot of people would like this. Like, if you're watching it for the first time and you don't have any memories of watching it when you were younger, like, yeah, you're going to think this movie's a bit slow and boring and just weird. Like the romance with the high schooler and grown-up John Cryer, who's hiding out from the mafia. And what was it? Was it The Breakfast Club that he was... What was the movie that he was in?
John Cryer.
It wasn't The Breakfast Club.
No, it wasn't The Breakfast. He was in
16 Candles.
16 Candles, yeah.
Yeah.
Or was he in there's two Molly Ringwald movies I always get confused. So I don't think he was in
Sweet 16.
16. I think he was in 16 Candles? No.
All those movies are confusing.
Wait, okay. There's 16 Candles, there's The Breakfast Club, and there's one more. What the fuck is the other one? With Molly Ringwald. There's like three like really popular.
Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink. That's the one he's in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The only reason I know that is I think Sarah has the vinyl soundtrack of Pretty in Pink.
Yeah. So in that one, he plays Ducky, who is like the
Okay.
character that like you want her to be with, but she ends up being with the fucking like hunk guy or whatever. And in 16 Candles, it's Anthony Michael Hall. I do remember that. So he's like the nerd.
So, like, I'm curious if John Cryer was, like, starring in any other movies around this time period, because this is a lead role for him. John Cryer in Hiding Out, or is Hiding Out. So it's interesting that maybe they thought that he was a big enough draw to, you know, star in his own movie. But, I mean, this is an interesting one. It is a fun, like, if you grew up watching this, odds are you haven't seen this in many years. I think some of the subject matter is probably why, because I think back then it probably wasn't as weird because times were different then. And they really were. Times were different then. People weren't as uptight and just fucking like, but in today's society, this is not acceptable, Uncle Bill.
No,
You
this was
can't.
not.
16-year-old Annabeth Gish can't be getting diddled by 22-year-old John Cryer. And they have a make-out scene, and it's kind of weird.
It sounds weird. Like, I haven't seen this movie in forever. I have seen it though. I just remember Annabeth Gish looking like she was like 12 years old in the fucking thing, and like because you go and see her in like, you know, the X-Files, and she looks completely different than she does in this movie. But she's really weird because she was part of that whole like Breakfast Club Brat Pack scene, but she wasn't really in it. But like she was in a bunch of those movies around that same time that were adjacent to those style of movies. This is one of those. It's weird that like they took all the jobbers from like the John Hughes movies and put them in their own movies to see if it could work. And John Cryer's just one of them dudes where, goddamn, if it hadn't been for that 2.5 Men show, he'd been totally screwed.
Yeah, that revived his damn career.
Yeah.
He'd be in Cracker Barrel with Greg Evigan otherwise. This is on 4K too. Like I appreciate the fact that Kino could have done a Blu-ray first and then eventually tried to do a 4K, but they just went all balls to the wall. And people, if you're fans of this movie, the DVD's like 20 years old, so you may want to pick it up. The transfer on this is pretty good. It's another Studio Canal transfer, but this is one of those movies that, like, I mean, it's like a comedy, like, I don't know what you would call it, comedy drama hybrid. It's okay, it's fine, but I think a lot of people watching it for the first time today would think it's very odd. It is a good release of it, though. Definitely the best that this movie will ever get. There is 3 separate audio commentary tracks on this. They have the director, Bob Giraldi, and it's moderated by Black Mansion Films producer, Heather Buckley, baby. Audio commentary with film historians Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson. Another audio commentary by film historian Jarrett Gahan. Adult education, they got an interview with John Cryer about the movie Hiding Out. Teen Spirit, Annabeth Gish. They got a new interview with her who is remembering Hiding Out in a theatrical
Yeah, I mean, she ain't got
trailer.
nothing else to do now. She might as well do shit.
What the hell else was Annabeth Gish in? Like, I know she was in a bunch of stuff, but I just can't.
She was in like so much shit, but she's one of them people that never like memorable for some reason.
Didn't have like a I don't know, like that iconic role that everybody's like, oh yeah, that's Annabeth Gish, bulls.
Yeah, so I mean, the main thing I remember her from is the fucking X-Files, sadly enough, but I know she was in a ton of stuff in the 80s, too.
Yeah.
Okay, she was in Mystic Pizza. Hiding Out is basically her first movie, like, in 87. Then she's in Mystic Pizza with Julia Roberts and all them people. Then the next thing is not until the 90s. She's in Wide Earp. She's in Nixon. She's in a bunch of shit, man. Double Jeopardy.
You mentioned Julia Roberts. You know, another movie that's, it's not a great movie, but it's got an interesting cast, and it would be killer one for Kino to release. Do you remember, this was Justine Bateman's breakout movie from Family Ties. It was like a rock and roll music movie called Satisfaction. Do you remember this? And Julia Roberts
I kind of do, yeah.
I think Liam Neeson is in it, Julia Roberts. I don't think that's ever been released on anything, like aside from the videotape. So, Kino, that's a request from me. I'd like to see that. But Hiding Out 4K Blu-ray combo pack. Check it out. It also came out this past week. All right, guys, that is it for another episode of Dead Pit is Watching. We'll have another one real soon. Stuff from Severin Films, Arrow, more Kino stuff. I know an Intervision set that Uncle Bill's very excited to talk about. And also tune in a little bit later on tonight, in about an hour or so. We are going to be going live covering the Severin Films Summer Sale with CHH and a mystery guest possibly. So that'll be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that on the Dead Pit channel. And remember that Dead Pit
is watching.
I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.